All right, so let's go over a nurse video. This is a nurse game that I played earlier. It is a competitive nurse game. It was not for a tournament, but for practice. Um, the team I'm on, we have a tournament uh, coming up next weekend. So we're trying to practice. This is the map that is going to be played first round, so we're trying to get our reps in. Um, yeah, and so this is a good chance to see obviously my nurse, because I haven't done a nurse review before, um, and she's my best killer. So you'll be able to see how I think about nurse and how I operate and pilot her, and also you get to see kind of the different play style of gameplay rather than a public match. A little bit more aggressive. The builds are a little bit different. There's certain rules, certain things that are banned, which we won't get into now. We just kind of want to get into the gameplay. So, without further ado, let's do it. So we're at Pale Rose, kind of a big map, but doesn't really matter for nurse. So let's go over the build real quick. All right. So first things first, we have Corrupt Intervention. Corrupt Intervention blocks the three generators that are the farthest away from me for 2 minutes. So this is a really good opportunity to slow the game down in the early game. What a lot of good survivor teams will do is they will, instead of coming to the killer and possibly revealing themselves getting downed early, they will hide and wait out the entire 2 minutes of Corrupt Intervention. But that's just really what you see in competitive. The next perk is Shadowborn. That was a really bad thing, but whatever. Shadowborn increases my field of view by 15 degrees. I don't personally run it on nurse in pub matches. I see a lot of nurses do run it. It is a good perk to run with nurse. But I just figured in competitive, since that's all about kind of, I felt that like the field of view increase would be really nice, especially since I'm playing against optimal survivors. Hex Ruin. Obviously, everyone knows what Ruin does. If a survivor is not working on a generator, the generator will regress at 200% the normal regression speed. Kind of a staple. It used to be way back when a staple perk. It is now. It used to not be as much when it got reworked, but when this perk came out, this new perk, this new blight perk came out, it's become a staple perk again with this perk with it. This is Hex Undying. If a survivor is within 2 meters of a totem, their aura will be revealed for 6 seconds at tier 3. And then if any other hex totem gets cleansed, that hex will be transferred to another dull totem. So essentially coupling Hex Undying and Hex Ruin together will pretty much keep Ruin up for most, if not the entire game. So this is kind of a pretty generic build. So let's go after it. So first things first, just kind of going through the map. I'm just trying to see if I can find anyone. Usually they like to go near the boat first. It's somewhat safe, but it's nurse, so nothing's really safe. Just trying to see if I could see anything. Kind of, I like getting high ground early if it's available, and instead of focusing kind of in this range here, like diverting my eyes, I try to like scan across the horizon with my eyes just to be able to see, if I see any movement, any grass moving, any heads moving, that type of thing. So sometimes if you watch me play nurse, you'll see me hold that first blink early in the game just so I can scan the area, so I'm being kind of tactical which way I'm blinking. So So yeah, just kind of looking around, scanning around, see if I can find anyone. I won't go into every blink hit I get or anything. I'm going to try to make this as quick and painless as possible, because I know attention spans are a thing. So yeah, so Undying obviously is active. It's a dull totem, so it doesn't really matter. So you can see the aura right. Oh my god, you can see the aura right here. So and that's the only kind of leeway I got. So obviously I'm gonna go for that. It's on the edge of the map, so there shouldn't be much room for her. The tap to run. So we get the tap. It's pretty standard blink. Nothing special about that. Kind of got a little lucky there with that blink. The second blink was not clean enough. But yeah, so nothing really special about that. It was just 2 straight blinks, no change of direction, no change of floors. Didn't really need to use my ears or anything. So get the first hook. So now Corrupt's got about 30 seconds left. So I'm gonna obviously, you know, I know this gen's not being worked on because you can't really see it, but whatever. This gen right here, I know that gen's not being worked on because I can't hear anything being worked on. I was just by the boat, so I know no one's gonna be there. So this is basically like my priority gen right now. And we found some people. I tried to make a read, so this might be a little like excessive, but we're gonna still talk about it. So I tried to make a read in blink here. All right, so I tried to make the read there. In reality, I should have tried to make a read here, and the reason for that is if I make the read here, okay, that would push any survivor on this generator into this open flat. There's a pretty open area for them to run in this, you know, and there's quite a distance for them to get in the shack. If I push them in this direction, they have a few options. They can play around the dock if they can get to the dock. There is a pallet here, which I obviously didn't know at the time, but now I know, so whatever. After I play the game, but they can play around the dock, which isn't the best spot for Nurse to play around. Just because you might have to change floors. There's a lot of weird walls. It's a little bit difficult to track survivors. So you want to be able to get them in the open flat, and so push them this way. But that's a little much. Could have gotten it down maybe quicker. I tried to block them off going to the dock. So again, like, here's something to keep in mind. I talk about this a lot, and this really applies to Nurse. Okay, you have to really pay attention, to character models. Okay, with Nurse, where is the Fang looking? Where's the Fang going? And you have to make calculated blinks to where if I blink here, I know that even if she's run this way or she doubles back, it won't matter. Okay, it will not matter because it's too short of a distance to where like she can't cover that. If you're a little bit longer, it's a little different. You got to read it, harder. But just really pay attention to where they're running as Nurse, and really try to like make them give you their information first. So Fing makes a good block, or a pallet stun, I mean, on me. That wasn't just a worthless swing. So she did a good job double backing on me. So yeah, this is okay, so let's talk about this. So All right, so let's talk about this blink right here. Okay, so a lot of good survivors, they understand that you charge up as nurse, and once if they're close to you, like Fang was here, and they hear you charging up for more than literally half a second, probably at this distance, they know that you have to go far. They know that, so they're gonna play close to you. Something cheeky you can do with nurse is if you look down at the ground when you blink, you'll blink basically in place or maybe a little bit forward. This is really like, even if you have it, fully charged, this is really like this is a nurse mechanic that you really have to like learn to do, because sometimes they break line of sight. So I didn't know if Fang was going this way or if she was going to double back and come close. So she broke line of sight. Well, I charged up the blink initially thinking she was going to break for the dock, but she came back, and so I had to improvise, and this is a really good improvisation. And then you have the second blink, and they don't really know where to go. So, we'll keep it going. I'm not gonna stop as much. I'm just gonna kind of talk through it, unless it's some really interesting point. So I blink to the middle of the boat. See her
so good.
See her as I'm blinking down the boat. Bait out the dead hard and get her. I mean, that was just like really solid blinks. I heard her below me, so that was my indication of blinking down. So I hear the gen being worked on next to me, so I'm probably gonna go up there. They got one gen done. Again, heard him below me. Able to get really nice blinks off. I blinked a little bit extra past the hook, just so I can make sure I turn around and get the tap instead of hitting the hook survivor. Like, so I know the auto aim won't screw me. So at this point, we know tap is on second hook, okay? So it is imperative, especially at this point, it is imperative that we make sure tap dies. I don't think I do it this game, but we need to get the tap out of the game, or like whoever's on second hook, you make sure to get out of the game, because if it is like there are 3 survivors left and there's 4 gens to be done, it makes it almost like impossible for the survivors to win the game. So make sure almost got that. Make sure this isn't competitive. They get out of the game. You gotta get someone out of the game. So Ace did a nice double back. That was kind of a lackluster blink. He just messed up the pathing. That wasn't anything good on my part. It was just a mistake.
Alright, now we go for Rocking Horse. Wait.
So again, they're trying to get the boat gen.
Just kidding.
Like the initial thought was to go for the tap. However, I heard the gen being done, and obviously, generator pressure still key. So I think, and I was just one blink away from that gen. So it was honestly like a no-brainer. No point to touch the pallets because we're a nurse.
Deliverance.
Yeah, so Figured going for the unhook. Probably has DS, so I didn't want to.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, I just.
Lunge that shit, dude.
Yeah, I completely flubbed that blink. Got a little lucky. Got a little lucky that she slow vaulted, but
That gen's not close to being done.
we landed it. We landed it.
We're just gonna go ahead and.
So we popped the DS. Now we just need to go. Now we need to commit.
Ah, I could get through.
Didn't hold the second blink long enough. Might have gotten through it. So so hear the gen being done behind me. So we need to. We got 3 people out of the game. And just, solid read. So I want to go over that one actually. So now watch your character model, okay? So here's the thing. You can kind of, here, let me back it up just a hair. Okay, all right, this is a good spot. Okay, so you see Feng Min's character model, which is here. Okay, it is pointing in that direction. Okay, her head, if you look at her head, her face, she's not looking at us. It's also pointing in that direction. Okay, so we know that if we blink here, we will get a hit. Regardless if she tries to double back, we will get a hit. If she were looking at us, we might consider blinking in a more conservative position, maybe here or here, in case she early double backs, and then we get her. So every time I blink, every time any good nurse blinks, they take this shit into account. This is, it tells all, So, because we know if we blink here, it'd be, too aggressive. I don't think she'd get to the window by that. I mean, if she just went full window, which I don't think she will, her pathing would probably have been like this, and then here, and then around. So, around the TL. So, or is that a jungle gym? I don't know. It's blurry. But yeah, so we know that's too aggressive. We know this is a little too conservative. And this is kind of just that sweet spot. So. So again, that just comes from experience, the blinking up the different floors and shit. So we're gonna slug in case they went for the save and try to work on the gen and whatnot, because there's a lot of objectives that could be done. So downing him now, you have to think as a killer. Okay, if I pick him up, take the time to take him to a hook. This gen's almost done. And there's an unhook right here. They could easily she could be working on it, or the tap could be working on it. Pop it and then unhook, so I lose generator and hook pressure, or unhook and then they bum rush to that. All the while I'm picking up and picking Ace up and putting him on a hook. So you have to think the slug and then going back to try to catch the tap in the act, so to speak. That's the better play. So we go on the hill just to see if we can, scan the area again. Don't underestimate that type of stuff. Said unbreakable.
Nice.
So we undying procs, which is nice. Tap did a good job there, confusing me.
Ah, shit, dude.
Yeah, I feel you. Got a little confused there. Tap didn't really know what to do. Not really much to do. So I got that gen done. Now the boat kind of becomes our priority, as it kind of has been all game. So hear him above us. So this is something cheeky here that I kind of want to touch on. I'm already at almost 21 minutes, so we need to wrap this up. So you see the you see the blood stain, right? You see the blood stain, you see the scratch marks, okay? And there aren't any like here. There's nothing here, okay? So, and we don't see any of Ace's body on this side of the pallet, right? Right. So we know that he's probably hugging this side of the pallet, blocking vision. Therefore, if we blink right here, we can just swing, get a hit. Won't be expecting. He's giving us space in this area so that he can drop pallet, or that he can like whatever. Like he's facing this way. Oh my god, what is that? Facing this way. Thinking that we're going to be blinking here. However, you know, we're smarter than that. We know his character model is right here. You know, yay, there's Ace. So we're going to blink here and get a hit. So Ace ends up getting off here. I fumbled into the wall. We're gonna continue to try to get Ace down. Be patient with your blinks. That's huge. Jukes me well there. But then taking me away from the generator. Now the generator pressure is key. They need one more. We need to go back to the gen. We can't commit to that. I thought I had enough to get to the generator.
Gen at least.
So that's also really something cheeky, is that you have
Come on, get me gen at least.
there's a period of time that you have with Nurse, where after you blink, you could still swing, and you can move forward a little bit, you know, just a hair, and so you can kind of fake that you're done with your blink and you're done. You're gonna go to fatigue, but then you can end up swinging still. It's a very short period of time. That over the time as you play Nurse and you learn that period of time, you can use it to your advantage. So you could mess up a good blink. You could mess up a blink, but it would still end up working out. So we kill, and then we end up getting the down here and four-manning the team. So, yeah, that's pretty much how I think about Nurse and how Nurse is played. And yeah, it was a really fun game, and look forward to bringing Nurse out in competition sometime soon. Thank you.